make sure I have all this. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Great. Okay, so we are set. So, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. It is 12/6/2023, and we are going over the day's trade plan. So this is live on YouTube. Warning to everyone who's watching on YouTube, there is a latency of somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. This is meant to see how we trade in the room, but is not meant to be traded off of. You'll be able to see what we do, but there'll be a delay, and a delay in this market can be very expensive. So just heads up on that. And then let's get to work on this. So hold on one second. And okay, so guys, let's get started. So the first thing coming into the day, we are in trend day up, no question about it. So let's go mark off the high and low of the day on the chart, and then we'll work our way back from there, from yesterday. So a couple of key areas, right? And this is different than what we look at on the profile. Just easily take your main chart. So things are important. This is based on New York lunch. This is the afternoon low. Okay, that will usually get defended, and from a larger scale, from a larger time frame traders, you know you have to break that area to go lower, right? So this is yesterday's low. Additionally, let's see, this is market open. This is market low. And we had the long right off the low yesterday, and just who would have known? So let's lock this. Lock. Let's change the color on that to purple. And then let's go with yesterday's high, which would have been into the close. That would have put us right, actually it wouldn't have been in the close, I guess, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1507. I'm going to go with that was after hours. Let's open that up to make sure. 1458, 1501. We're going to go with, this is the high right here. I'll check that off and see what the official 3 o'clock close was, but I believe it's that green lock drawing. So now we have the high, the low, and yesterday's swing, right? And then obviously overnight this thing has been rocking the house out, right? They're just non-stop up since really 6 this morning. And you will see from the last, remember when we had this consolidation yesterday? So remember I was pointing out, and I was like, hey, look, this whole thing where we sat here from 11:55 until 1 o'clock, right? I was like, this thing's building an energy for something. So the way that pattern worked was build energy, break out, backside test, hold base, consolidation. This was the second breakout, and that led to trend up. So from that, if you look here, you take your price retracement tool. Well, that's going to be a 382 retrace. Okay, so whenever you get to a market where it gets to a 382 retrace and it holds that 382 retrace, right? That's a really strong sign of a trending market, right? And you can start to see how we started to very quietly, it's hard to see in real time because you're staring at the machine, right? But we subtly start to hit higher highs and higher lows through that whole thing. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, all the way through there, right? And so my suggestion is when, the way I would have traded that if I was a swing trader is I would have looked for the breakout, right? And seeing the breakout, see how we pushed down right here? That was a hard push down. See, it pushed against this guy. Here, let me make that really wide. See, the algo in here told us this guy, look, there was a battle. This guy pushed down, This guy pushed up, this guy pushed down, this guy pushed up, this guy pushed down, and then you pushed. So what you'll notice is they finally pushed away from him, right? And then what are we looking for on the breakouts, right? What we want on the breakouts is when it pushes out. Okay, so I've drawn this in the room before, right? When we push out like this, so I know this occurred late in the day, but this guy, when he pushes down, if you draw a line across his point of control, right? Each time you get across that point, it's setting up for a break. The problem was it was so late in the day they couldn't get it done, but they finally get it done over here. So your options were point of control above, close out on the point of control below. Now, this is really important here because I want to show you the subtlety of this. See how that was negative bar down, point of control below, but it doesn't break the swing, right? It does not break the swing. But then you go again, point of control above, and you'll notice this time, see when it comes back over here, when it's like picture perfect, they won't let the point of control get below. See how they held that above, right? See how they held that above? And then bam, that's what generated that run to the upside. Okay, so that's a very large time frame. Like that all started setting up at 11 in the morning, and it took all the way till this morning to get this extent. So that was Asia, right? Then it retraces back down. Okay, and you will notice in each of these retraces back down, attempted breakout, point of control. So just in a very simple way, point of control above, point of control below, trade busted. Then your candidates become this guy. But see when you get, okay, so if you look at all of this, see how this is outside the channel? And then you get this guy outside the channel? So you have to use the channel to kind of raise your expectations. So that you have to combine that with a 382, point of control down, point of control above, and then that's the lift it goes. Now, we don't trade like this, right? We use the smaller, most of us aren't trading at 6 in the morning, but we use the smaller time frame to manage risk so we don't have to take these larger drawdowns off this bigger bar, right? But if you will look at this, right, and remember that you're kind of going for a long perspective, bad, unless it's on a supernova on a breakout, bad, good, great, when the orange dot appears outside, right? And particularly when everything is trending up and you get that orange dot outside, it's exhausting, right? So if we came back and looked at this really closely, right, we go, oh, I got the orange dot outside. That should elevate your mindset that, hey, this trade could go. So you want to ask two questions in the background when that happens. Are we trending up, or are we trending down, or are we in balance? Those are three questions. Trending up in balance, good, right? And B, have we gotten a rotation down? And I want to show you something. Ian sent me something yesterday, and I'm going to apply the same logic to NQ. Ian, and it was very kind of him, wrote, because Ian only trades ES, and I have not been paying that much attention to ES. And he goes, hey, I had a decent month in November. The win rate was above 71%. Today was the first day I traded out the footprint. My approach is to wait until 7-point plus counter rotation, orange dot, fourth channel, take first engulfing bar. I would add get the point of control above, but to each his own. And then Foundry found the entry to be 2 points better than my normal entry, right? So ES, so NQ, we haven't talked a lot about this in the room, but NQ has a normal rotation of 30 points. So 60 is 2x and 90 is 3x. So this is a rotation down. If you did that from the high, right, and you come over here, it's simple. It's not a complicated thing. You start off at 90, you go 60, and then you go 30. That's a 2x rotation. Okay, that 30-point rotation has been around for years and years and years in NQ. So you go 30, 60, 90. Now let me tell you where this gets frustrating. When the market's just drilling straight up and we don't get any rotation back. But normally if you go 30, 60, 90, we're outside the fourth channel. You get the orange dot, point of control above. And then what that translates to, if we erase all that, so now you've got your algo on the outside. Draw the line across the point of control. Nope. Yep. Come back. And here's your entry. There's your blue dot. 15-point stop from here. 16-point stop, right? Or you can use the single bar. I'm just going to call it 16-point stop. The math works. Or the first pink bar above with a 16-point stop. Either way, those become your entries off the 15-tick chart. and off you go to the races, to the upside. And then you'll notice, see how they finally get this, they get this push up, and then this guy, see how it has 3 dots? This guy pushed back mega hard, right? See this right here? He pushed back mega hard. Draw a line across that. First pink bar above, if you're going to stack, that's where you stack the trade for the breakout to the upside. Okay, so does anyone have any questions over that setup? Because that's your setup. And then where I see people having difficulty, by the way, is our range is back. We're getting 30, 60, 90 point rotations, right? Where I see people having difficulty is they are not letting the rotations run. So do yourself a favor, right? So it sounds really easy when someone goes, oh, just let it run. But if you're trying to make money, right, you already have, let's say you traded here. Let's say you traded here, and by the time you get over here, you've entered on this bar, so you've entered 33, and you're already up at 53. So if you had 3 contracts, right, that's $1,200, right? So most people are going to go, $1,200 is a decent chunk of change, especially for I traded for 30 minutes, right? That's more than most people in the world make in a week in some cases, I would guess, right? So it becomes really hard to go, well, I'm going to leave my trailer on for the extension. So make it easy. Make it easy on yourself. Either use a separate account or open a micro and go, I want to see what would happen. Your brain has to learn that you're going to be okay when you leave the trailer, right? Like that's one thing you have to teach it. And if you've taught it otherwise, and I've had the same problem, right? So as we get, science says, as we get under more stress, our reasoning ability to recess gets smaller and smaller, right? So make it easy on yourself while you're reteaching your brain. Go, okay, I can't leave this trailer here. I can't handle the pullback, right? But I want to learn how to do it. So go take 1 micro, right? Pitch your stop all the way back over here or until you get a short signal outside over here, right? And when you close your position, substitute the 1 micro. What's the worst you can do is give back $20, right? It won't affect you, but you can say, eventually what will happen is your brain's going to say, I believe it's going to come back on me and stop me, right? But as you keep putting on that 1 micro, right, just to see where it'll go, it's just an investment in learning, right? If you put on that 1 micro and go, I'm going to let this go. Ronnie, I would suggest the same thing for your accounts because you cut your trades short quite often on some of the great entries that you have. And your brain will slowly over time start looking at that evidence when you're under pressure, and that evidence under pressure is going to go, get rid of the position, close the whole thing, all of it, every contract, right? And eventually your brain's going to say, no, you know what? It might come back, but it's unlikely because this is a great setup and I can sustain the comeback, right? But you've got to train yourself to go through it in a way where there's not too much pain and you can still experience the opportunity, right? So things to consider adding, right, that are simple, that should not be distracting. NQ trades in 30-point rotations. If you're looking for a long, look 30 points lower. If you're looking for a short, look 30 points higher at least. Shorts, harder than longs. On the top of your list, top of my list for sure, is on the top of my list is tilt, right? Do not do things that lead to tilt. Okay, for me, number 1, agitation. Okay, now, I don't have to be losing money to be agitated, right? I do not have to lose money to be agitated. It's simply the PA cannot work the way I think it should work, and that's enough for agitation for me, right? Number 1, okay? Number 2, missing my trade can cause me agitation, right? Let's say this is real time, we all get set up perfectly, and you have the perfect read, and you kick this for 10 points, right? And then you see it face rip the rest of the morning for another 100. That can lead to tilt, okay? So if you look yesterday, if you were under the same circumstances yesterday, I believe this is where I thought it was long yesterday morning, right here, and it didn't get outside the 4th channel, right? But we got above the point of control, and it was adios. Never came back, and it didn't get. And let's say let's add it an even further step. Let's say I needed to get outside the fourth channel, and so you said, you know what? I'm trading outside the fourth channel. I know that's where my best trades are, and it doesn't get outside the fourth channel, right? Which is the blue line there, right? Well, so then you go and you get mad, right? So now you're like, I can't miss another trade. I'm just going to buy it here, right? And maybe this one works. Then you go, oh, I'm going to buy it here. You're not reasoning anymore. But watch, if you just stayed cool, right? Watch, outside the fourth channel, long, paid. That's 9:30 in the morning, right? Outside the fourth channel, long, paid, right? Outside the fourth channel, above, long, paid. Okay? You will get your shots. Right? And those shots will pay you. Hold on one second. Let me see if I have. Just let me get my Slack over here. And the simple awareness that this pisses you off, right, will keep you from trading on tilt. You want to know what pisses me off? When I come in the morning and I was thinking long before I came in, and I sit down and look and I'm like, shit, we already ran the 100 points, right? Okay, that pisses me off. What do I have to do? I have to be aware that those are the feelings that put me on tilt, right? And there's someone in this room that's been working really hard on their extensions, and they keep not getting them, right? 2 weeks of working on those extensions, and they're just not getting them. And let me tell you what can drive you mad, right? When you know they're available, you take the trade, you say, I can get a big extension here, and then you don't. It can drive you crazy, right? You can actually be making money and feel like a failure doing that. There is a transition period between the time you go from, I'm taking everything from 10 points, to I understand there's a stretch, to I'm going to execute that stretch, okay? And if you don't go on tilt and you're still pulling money in while you're retraining your brain to do that, you have won. Because let me tell you, here's the important thing that we all forget. We all get ready in the morning. I do my breathing exercises. Y'all all do your market preview, whatever it is you do to get ready for the day, right? And you can come in and all that work can go out the window in 1 second of unawareness, right? So build the awareness in. Give yourself credit for what you are doing positive. Don't compare yourself to everyone else in the room, except to say, let's say you're comparing yourself to Bruno, who's rarely in the room. Bruno's in France, so he's rarely in the room, but he trades, right? You go, hey, Bruno got the 40 or 50 point extension, right? Well, what you might want to ask is, how long did it take Bruno to get that 40 or 50 point extension, right? He may not have had any of the baggage you had coming in. He may have not had any of the emotional challenges you had coming in. He may have just come in and listened to me and gone, oh, if I get above this thing and I hold it, it can go all the way up here, and I'm looking for the orange dot down outside the channel to get out. And he followed that rule. It may be easy for him, but you should also use it as an example, not to get mad, but to go, I can do it too. If you know one person can do it, you know many people can do it. I'm certainly not the smartest guy in the room, and we're all probably equally smart, right? So if one person can do it, you can do it, and then you have to figure out the path, the math to add it on. So that's all I have to say about that. We need to focus on staying on process and getting the trades. We're gapping up. We're going on trend up, excuse me. Wow. And what I want you to look at, first of all, is pull up your 15-minute charts. And you can see that we can't even trade underneath a 15-minute bar. Okay? That breakout occurred at 6:15. Take your price retracement, put a 50-60. Before you get bearish, we should close behind that 62 retrace. Yes, I know it'll be 100 points off the low. Does not mean we cannot pull back. It just means that the overall structure is to the upside unless we get behind right now 15,966. That'll obviously change as we keep pushing. Number one. Number two, you have to be able to trade underneath a 15-minute bar to even start getting two-sided trading. So assume trend up until when this bar closes right here, put a line right underneath it. So I know right now I've got to trade underneath 16,018 before we go lower, right? From a larger time frame structure, right? That's the 15-minute. Number two, you have to break this swing down here. Is the next thing that has to go at 16,921. Pretty easy math on these things, right? In this particular case. Number two, if I look at the profile on NQ, we are currently trading at 16,028. We are in, there's a, let's erase this. No. Why is this like this? Yes, I'm going to erase this. I don't want to erase all of it. This, 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 this. Let me update it. Sorry guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I haven't updated it in a few days. Okay, here we go. Oops. Pointer. I don't know why this looks like this or why it moved, but I'm going to fix it. Thought I had it fixed and I must have not saved it. Right click. Prior day's lows. This is this current swing low. This is get this done. High. Most important parts here: unfair pricing, single prints, we have 1 minute. I'll be a minute behind the open because I don't care about the open. And Friday's high, which you can see we haven't hit that. Naked volume point of control. Here, we're opening just above it. Naked volume point of control for TPO and profile. Unfair pricing all the way up. There is a single print right in there if you want to pay attention to it. And then single prints below here. That's probably what we're dealing with, and this white line's the mid of the half gap. And then this is yesterday's TPO and volume point of control. Okay, so target's back down. You have to trap back into the range. This is, remember how I said from that 30th and the 1st, right? The market can trade easily all the way through this, and that's exactly what we've done up and down. Guess what? It can do it the other way as well. Okay, until it doesn't. So keep that in mind. Obviously, they're dropping it right out of the gate. We'll see what they do, so on and so forth. In terms of econ this morning, we have and boom, underneath the double dots, and see ya back into support right over here. Calendar December 6th. ECB's Nagel speaks. Nothing at 8:45. And nothing at 9 o'clock. And no Fed speakers. That argues for balance and no driver. It's Wednesday. I guess you have crude oil inventories at 9:30. That's the only driver. So I don't know why they're selling it or why they're not selling it or so on and so forth. But yeah, that's very interesting because I see no reason for them to do it one way or the other, right? So let's just follow the plan. Get outside the channel, orange dot, get over the point of control, go long. And let's let them burn the first 15 minutes. We'll just watch it and we'll go from there. Any questions, guys? Let me flip this over. Oh, wait, Xavier. Just go to the Keltner channel and add it. So let me actually reset this. So see how you have a Keltner channel on the 24, Xavier? Go to the Keltner channel settings right here. F6. I don't know why it's doing this. Here we go, F6. Go to ID 66 on your 24 tick. Okay. And go to settings. And then hit set defaults. Okay. And then come over here to chart studies, add the Keltner channel, right? Add the Keltner channel and hit OK, and it should just carry the settings over from one to the other. It's the same settings as the 24. Okay. And again, make sure you have your footprint set, the tick size, to 50 cents. Very important. Outside the fourth channel. That was a nice little rip down, but we're still up nicely on the day. Up 77 and 20. And like I said, I don't even know why we ran up to begin with. So there's plenty of air below. Like I said, we traveled through that entire pocket with no mercy, right? And now they're having no mercy on the way back down. Man, oh man, look at that short from up there. See ya, purple bar. And I'm not in favor of shorts, but that was beautiful if anyone took it. So now you have it outside the channel. Of course, we're in no man's land, but point of control above. Finally, it took forever to get. It's a 15-point stop from this bar. And again, for those who are watching, we generally burn the first 15 minutes, right? So, or at least it's for the most aggressive of traders. Let's put it that way. Potential location for an apex trap down here. Aggressive apex trap because it's not on an up. The dots aren't on the up. And ES is struggling here a bit, as it should be. I mean, both of these are we're still caught in that Thursday, Friday, no man's land. You're looking for your second pink bar above here as a valid entry long if they can get it back above that line again. On the 15 tick off to the right. Otherwise, potential apex trap over here. Again, it's aggressive apex trap. Again, we opened up in thin air and we're just auctioning all the way through. And we have closed below on that 15-minute bar, so you'd look for some type of two-sided trading, but looks like they just ran it straight up and now they're offering it straight back down. It's pretty crazy. Oh, are my bars matching, guys? I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Are we matching up? Right now, you still got to get back above that 15,960, 150 for the reversal. So if you look, this is your entry, right? Again, this is aggressive if you're trading in the first 15 minutes. So super aggressive is just take the first pink bar, right, without the point of control above. That gave you an entry at 63. This gave you an entry at 67. And your maximum favorable excursion was 77. So it's 10 points for the scale. And then you got stopped on balance, right? Again, if you're trading in that first 15 minutes and this is now open drive lower, then that's how you end up getting hit, right? And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, you're long. Sorry, I missed that. I looked down for a second. If you're aggressive, you're long. On that bar. So let's call it 48, right? You've already got your 10-point scale and push. And now you've got, if you can get this 67 to print, you might have a very nice reversal on your hands. The other area is if we can get a retest down into this bar and get a reversal off of that. Nice, Randy. 940 to 960 is a pretty fat trade. Got to get that. You don't want it by an inch. Like you wanted this point of control above. You want that 67. And really what I'd like, or I'd like to test back into this bar. And there's your roll down, engulfing bar up, right? 88 to 91. Not a bad trade. And potential back to 96. I have one chart that's off this morning. Not sure why. That's a beautiful trade, guys. Especially for the aggressive ones. Tasia, did you take or are you waiting out the first half hour? Yep, I agree with that. Yep, I agree with that too. Guys, I've got to do something real quick to try to get this one chart in alignment. Let me see if it will do it. Pressing back into that bar for attempt at a new low. Or apex trap down here. No pink bar. And it needs a pink bar. Pink bar. That 3650 should hold now. Should. Again, the wild card there is that first 30 minutes, right? And the retrace back up, just so you have reference, would be at this point. $74 to $1,600. And it's kind of a confusing open, right? We were an open drive higher. Now we're an open drive lower. It hasn't shown, we haven't broken back into prior day's highs all the way back over here at 15,913. And there's no news to drive us either way. So, what do you do with that? I'm not sure. And we are as indecisive as it gets. They should come back up to test this guy at least. At least. And then into this 382, 50, and 62 are your next targets up. They tried to test that 44 and they couldn't get back to test them. And if we look at the profiles, like I said, that pink was what you were looking for right there for the lift. So now you're testing this guy, this guy. So this guy makes sense for a target, this 73, because it's the 382 retrace. We're potentially going supernova, right? If we can clear over this, and then your extended targets are this, and then back to the high. Looking at the profile, we have okay, and I want to show you something. See if you just waited patiently for this and said, I think I've got location on the long. Like, look at the, remember what I was talking about pre-market, right? So this is 37, one rotation. 07 will bring up 77, right? We'll bring up 47. That's 2x the standard rotation, and you find responsive buyers there, right? So now, if you look off the bottom, and you did the math the other way, right, it's 36. We'll bring up 66. One standard rotation, two standard rotations would bring up 96 and pitch into the 62 retrace, right? A little bit above there, that sets up a potential head and shoulders off the left, right side, right? We just don't know that it'll do it, right? So when you're just looking to be opportunistic, you're like, hey, it's two standard rotations down. One thing we didn't take care of, so we took out the swing from this guy that pushed down. They tried to beat him. It failed. But ideally, all the stops are sitting there at from that 652 lift, right down there at 15,921. That's so you're combining different ideas. But at the end of the day, when your decision point comes in, it comes in off of this, right? And then retesting those low bars and getting the. That's why I was saying, hey, we're retesting. We're looking for a pink bar to lift and push you out to the upside. And that one trade, right? That trade and that trade, these two trades right here can make your entire day. But Tasia, where you're having difficulty is you're not doing that part of the analysis. Like, for example, when you get a bar that comes into the low like this, if you can retest it like this and then come off with a pink bar right here where this bar ties in, if you go to the 15 tick, that's an excellent way to trade it instead of coming back in and testing. And I'll tell you which ones are better than others to test off of that. If you see me talking about it, it's because I'm looking for that reversal out of there. But if you look, like you can go look, like mark it here and see if you got a pink bar before breaking this low. I promise you didn't. But I bet you right over here we can go look. 657. Here we'll mark it off. And then we want the retest on this bar right here. Okay, so that was right here. So the retest down was this bar, and then the release bar was the pink bar up for that break to the upside. And that's a lot better way to run your trades. Okay? And again, that's being recorded on the YouTube, so you can go back and see it, what I just did. And then you can also go back and replay what this looked like. I'll post the link when we're done after the first hour. Hey, Joshua, your camera's on, just FYI. Not a big deal to me. You look beautiful, by the way, man, as usual. So I'd like 4250 tested one more time, right? And then a pink bar off of that for the break to retest the 382, the 50, and the 618 retraces. On the 24-hour profile, but I'm not using 24-hour, Randy. I'm only using RTH today, just so you know. That ES is building up for a move one way or the other. I'd really like 4250 to print and then a pink bar up. That's all right, Ronnie. That's it's a tough time to trade in that first half hour, right? And now you're in stop out zone. You're also trading against open drive lower. Yeah, no, of course on your runners. So that's tough when we come in and trend up and then go open drive lower. But we haven't dropped back into the day's range at 15,913. So it makes for a tougher environment. Like I said, I'd love that 4250 to print, and then we'll see. Come on, print. It looks like they don't want to do it. But we'll see. We got a couple minutes. I mean, Ronnie, you're getting enough big extensions in the opens, the way you're managing your risk, that even if you get stopped on your trailer here, it's not a big deal. Xavier, is everything clicking for you on your side? Are you seeing it from the videos? Is it helping you? You gotta tell me how you're doing so I know how to help you, right? Or at least send me messages, because otherwise you're out there on your own, and I want to make sure you're in the fold. And we've come to a standstill. There's the 42. Now I'm looking for a pink bar up or a blue dot over here, either one. Didn't get it. Looking for it. Might get it on the 24. No dice. Looking for an apex trap now. Over here to the left. No love. They're coming back to test the... Looks like they're trying for the 13. And key broke and ES didn't. See that? Down, down, down. Coming down to test that 13. Now ES broke. What an odd order flow, huh? Just let it set up. Now here's your dots down. You got to get a point of control above. You're looking for pink bar over here, or you got nothing. And you got to get above this. Like there's no point in even messing with it if you don't. So I will be long if I get a point of control above here. Not at 33 and a quarter unless I see the PSC above. And then it'll be a 16-point stop. So no dice so far. And they're trying for this 13. What you see that battle going on? So they're trying to tag that 13. You know, point of control above. Limit long 32. Stop 15 points. 16 points. 32, 22, 16. They may stop me, but I'm all right with that. And this is within context of trend day down. I'm probably busted. Probably will take a stop. yet. But it's coming. They got the point of control back underneath. I won't move my stop out of discipline, but and that's a stop, by the way. I'm long again. Same trade. I couldn't get it. Sorry. Now I'm trading 28 long on the pink. And this may just be too hard. If I take 2 stops, I'm all right with it. I'll just pause and wait for a new setup. I'm long the 28. Same stop. Well, move the stop to 15. You have to do that, but yeah. And that was some wicked PA right there. If I get 2 stops here, I'll just have to pause and just go, it's too hard. You would have thought there would have been a decent retrace from this point. 72 to 15. There we go. And again, I'm trying to push back to this 62 to 72 area. Manage your risk appropriately. I hate taking that first trade as a stop. I have to work extra hard not to get too upset on this, right? Because of the way it gapped and then we just completely went trend day down. It's the opposite of what we had yesterday, which, it's fine, but still it sucks. There's no traction here at all. Come on, give me some love. Again, I am pushing for these areas up here. I'm all right with the stops part of the deal, right? So if you need the scale, there's your 10 scale. I'm pushing on this. Okay, we are in supernova on the 15. I'll take a 48 scale. And that's 15 off the bottom so far, so you pay for the trade if you need to. And then you let the trailer run. But that trade was on process, by the way, that I got stopped on, right? And I obviously could have cut it out for a scalp, and I chose not to, and I'm fine with that. Scaled, half off, free ride, profitable no matter what. I'll take a quarter off here at this 58, and then I'll let the rest run, or try to run. But that pays for the stop if you need it, and pitch in profitability. Beautiful trade. Nice job, Tasia. Randy, I got it. I hear you. So this is where I practice just leaving my trailers, right? To see how far I can get extended out. I got my first and my quarter off. You can either move your stop to break even, right? Or see if it'll extend and it'll do the if we just V-shape it back up, which would be fine by me. But everyone should be on trailers now, right? So see how I got agitated by that stop because that first trade should have worked, right? And then, oh, also, you know what I missed? The apex trap. Sorry, guys. Which would have put this pink bar as the long, stop at the low, push. See how they missed that? Let me tell you what happened here. Okay, everyone was gunning for the top of that prior day's high, and they all jammed themselves right in at the low there, and that's why they had to cover. Everyone was shooting, and then of course, what do you get? Emotional retail traders all push, go. Oh, it's all going to zero. They overbake themselves, and in they go. Right. I'm still having problems with this one chart. I don't understand why. That's okay. So great trade. Great. That's a great sequence of getting stopped, going through, taking your next trade, getting your extension, pushing you from negative to positive. Been nice if it had just been positive out of the gate, but that's okay. And now that so by the way, there is a strong possibility now that we scared everyone out of their short that they come back and do tag that 15,913, right? There's no news to drive us. That's the only problem. So usually that's more bullish than bearish, but they ran it up from before market. So that kind of, yeah. Yeah, and then I retook it, Ronnie. On the 28, 29. You retook it with you. Great. 33 points. Excellent job, dude. You got to keep a cool head when you get stopped. I'm the biggest defender of that, of everybody, right? Let's see if I can get this chart in alignment one more time. Okay, we ran out of juice. I'm just going to flatten here. It's call it 60, and happy enough. I don't do these slow grind markets things so well, so that's fine. It still was 30 points. And now I'll work on, and of course I get immediately punished for scaling it out, but that's all right. It was a good trade. Yes, sir. I see that. That's good, actually, that you go hit the punching bag. Wrap your knuckles, dude. Just order a pair of bands. I have them right here on my desk. I go into the room next door and punch the bags. But I think it's a good idea to go work out the aggression before you work it out here. For sure. And of course, this thing's going to just rip right back up like I thought it would, and I came out of it early, but that's all right. Better focus on the next one. But notice we have no short signal either. We've just gone from one end of the channel to the other end of the channel. Apex trap, that's worth a net from 28 to 40, and your loss was 15 or 16 points at worst, right? Let's see if we can get our retraces redrawn. We're at 382. 76 is the 50. And 991 is the 62 retrace. Like I said, there's nothing to drive us. So they can just keep driving this. Of course, I'm filled with regret and remorse for selling it, but that's a different story. And Ronnie, you got the short off the high, right? Or am I wrong about that? You're having a pretty good day, right, dude? It could. There's no question about it. There's your orange dot up. So you don't, if you're long, you don't want a POC underneath that point. You don't have the POC underneath yet. They're working on that purple. There you go. See, point of control underneath, fall away. Down she goes. That's pretty straightforward. I mean, damn. Talk about getting your locations. I need to see something out of this chart. Okay. Don't forget to journal your trades, even in shorthand, and do them again later. Love a retest up towards that 65. Maybe after the oil inventory numbers, we can get that. Or test back down into the 22s. Or test into the 13. All of that will do good. And now we just wait for the next setup. Just call that a B plus setup there. It's on a 50-60 retrace. Wait for your signal. If you're a trader that says I have to start out outside the fourth channel, then start out outside the fourth channel. Don't change that. All the way back to test the breakout at the 29.50. That's pretty wicked. I'm just going to keep tracking ES till I see what I'm looking for in the rhythm. I believe it's a 1-bar stop on that. You know that? See here? You have the PSC above, and then stop, stop, go. Or is it? Maybe it's this. Let's see. Well, I have a second here. Damn. Okay, I'll get ES hammered out. I know I'm just off slightly on the rules, but I'll get there all the way back. Let's see if they can take it down. Potential apex trap coming down here. And potential retest of yesterday's high. No long signal, and the short signal got you out perfectly. There's the retest. You're waiting for, even if you're trying to get a jump on the trap, you're looking for a pink bar over here, right? Push below, anything above 913, PSC above over here is a trap back up, no entry, boom, beautiful. That was freaking awesome, guys. They gave the whole thing back, NQ down on the day. Man, that was vicious for bulls. They just trashed those guys. Just brutality. Here's your new level. Trend day down. Wow. Need above that 95 now. People are like, get me out. That 88 is probably long. I'll take a small size in front of the number. Long. 88, stop, low. 75.50. Just taking it off the dots up. It's one of the most highly aggressive trades there is. Okay, you also got the pink bar up above, but it's still very aggressive. Especially in a free fall. Scale. I'm pushing right in front of that number. We should retest that 15,913, but I had to get my risk off. Obviously, people are nervous about the number, the oil number. Now I'll try to push the rest of that or take the stop on it, one of the two. My goal is back to 15,913. And again, what you should be doing is adjusting this retrace here so you can keep kind of a pace of where we are. If we can't get past the 382, then we go to trend day down. Obviously can take a scale here if you need it. So your 318 is now back at 15,935. And I'll close out here in front of the oil number at 902. I'll let the number sink in and see what we do. Oh, but you know what? I made a mistake because really I should have just adjusted. I exited it, but really the proper stop here is 15 points behind the 903, or 16 points. Excuse me. We got the point of control above here at 98, so let's just call it around 16, so it should be 85, 84 should be your stop. Once it clears that point, if it's going to stick it. There's the oil number for whatever it's worth. Normally I wouldn't care. Oh That was excellent. So, guys on YouTube, thanks for joining us this morning. If you'd like to join us in the room, just email me. There's both at the beginning of the video and the end of the video. You get a 5-day free pass to the room, and tradingperform@gmail.com. Anyways, thanks guys, and have a great day. I'm going to cut the video here.